Hey, y'all. Thanks for stopping by. So, the United States Congress has just come back from their summer recess, and one of their first orders of business is trying to quell the minds and hearts of the American people who keep demanding more information about the Epstein files. For the past few months now, large swaths of the American right have been trying to label this as a hoax, that this is something being propagated by their political rivals in an attempt to smear Republicans as dishonest people, even though less than a year ago you had these exact same figureheads saying they would stop at nothing to have these files released, making it their single issue to lock up pedophiles and sex offenders and to make sure these victims have justice. Earlier this week, you may have read news that the U.S. House Oversight Committee released over 30,000 pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. Some folks are heralding this as a huge success that Trump administration is being transparent for once, but if you actually look through these documents, you would probably not be surprised to know that over 95% of what was released has already been released. Nothing new or pertinent was released in this document haul. This spurred one House representative, a Republican by the name of Thomas Massie, to start a petition to request more documents be released. Him and Ro Khanna, a Democrat out of California, have requested that everything be released, and that's what this petition is for. Shortly after that, Donald Trump released a statement saying that any Republican who signed this petition, it would be considered a slight or an action against the sitting president of the United States. This all, of course, comes on the heels of Donald Trump moving Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum security prison after she spoke to investigators and spoke highly of the sitting president, saying she never saw him do anything wrong or uncouth in front of her. And somehow, a great deal of his supporters took this as the truth or as something that should be believed. They went from release the pedophiles to release the pedophiles. The GOP is now the grand operation of pedophiles. Currently, you have Epstein's victims speaking on Capitol Hill. For some of them, this is their first time showing their face to the public and making public statements. And I genuinely fear for their safety. You have one of the most deranged political movements of my lifetime lining themselves up in a cult of personality behind a known child predator, a group of people who swear they want to protect the children, take action and shoot your local pedophile, but they want to put one in the highest office of the land. Their dear leader is telling them that whatever's happening is a hoax and is coming up from people in the deep state, or however he wants to word it now that he controls everything. And they're all watching the same news as me and you, and they're seeing their faces and their names, and they know where they are now. It's just really concerning to me because this was the hottest button issue for so many of Trump's supporters, and now they will do anything they can to keep supporting Trump, including, but seemingly not limited to, completely reverting on their morals and their ideals just because their dear leader told them to. But maybe that is their morals, is doing whatever their perceived strongest man in the room is telling them to do. You don't have to think for yourself as long as someone else is telling you what to believe. You don't have to take any real moral convictions, and you don't have to feel bad when everything falls apart in front of you. It wasn't you who was doing the thinking, it was someone else who led you astray. As a citizen of South Carolina, I would be remiss not to point out Nancy Mace crying after speaking to these Epstein victims. Some of you are making fun of her for that, calling that crocodile tears, saying, well, this is your bed, you made it, now you have to sleep in it, this is what you voted for, these are the people you support. And while all of that is true, I find it very likely that someone who made their entire political career out of this idea of protecting victims and bringing rapists to justice would actually crumble at the sight and the testimony of a victim. These women dealt with horrible things and horrible conditions, so it's not surprising to me that even evil people can have a modicum of empathy for the people around them. As much as I want to be an optimist about this and hope that these women get justice and that all of the people who are on these lists are brought to the severest letter of the law that we can bring them to, based on what the sitting president and his administration has done, based on the frankly overzealous support from his red hat operatives, I don't think anything's going to come of this. I would like justice to be served, but unfortunately, the people who really need to have their minds changed and their eyes open to what's going on, even when you present the evidence as clear as day in front of them, won't change their mind because they will do anything Trump says or requests. But I guess until the next time pedocon theory is proved to be a fact, y'all try to have a good day.